What up? Yo, back at it again. How we doing? Hope you're doing well. Beautiful day in sunny San Pedro, California. Tremendous beach morning routine. Ocean is just the right type of cold. It is beautiful. It was live music down there. There was actually a lot of people having a good time, and it was great. Another off day for me in terms of exercise, so naturally I pushed it, and I try to stay as light as possible. Still, I ended up pushing it. It's just one of those things for me where when I'm in a groove like I'm in right now, I just end up pushing it. So whatever, got my sweat in, beautiful day, and off to a great start. So yesterday I saw Russel Brand and Micheal Beckwith had a little live podcast. And I don't know if you know these two, but them together is basically like the spiritual Olympics. And two of them have been tremendous influences on me. And can't appreciate them more for what they're doing and how they're giving back and how they've really allowed themselves to be used as a vessel for positive information and the amount that they do in the community is truly inspiring. So they had a great talk, and if you know Russell Brand, then you know that he does not stop talking in a good way. Really, there's when he's rolling, there's no one else that should be talking. You should really be listening because he never says anything that doesn't make sense because he's a well thought out and well versed human. However, in talking to Micheal Beckwith, I never heard him have so much reverence, respect, and I never heard him listen as much as in that conversation. And it makes all the sense in the world because Beckwith is truly a spiritual master. He just has that experience. He is a true elder, and he he just says things in a way that call you up to your highest good and your highest potential. Makes you want to activate yourself, and it's things that are so simple but not always easy, especially in this society and culture that we have created that is really about neglecting the true self, your deeper self, or even giving any space for yourself to come to the forefront. It's really created a society of distraction and just fake surface level interaction. So that was really awesome to see, and Russell is making the rounds around the intellectual dark web. He's going to be hosting a a talk, so it seems, between Jordan Peterson and Richard Dawkins. So that'll be very entertaining. And he's also going to be, I think, he's a lecturer of some kind. I don't know what topic he's going to tackle at Jordan Peterson's new university, where it's a completely online university. They have some of the best lecturers in the world, teachers from Oxford, Cambridge, and they're trying to do something tremendous, and they're looking at getting the availability to get a bachelor's degree for 4,500 US dollars, which is just laughable, really. And that's really the reason they're doing this. They're showing that it's a business, and it's the price isn't based on any type of value. It's just a completely arbitrary number. And of course, what university is really about is the social interaction, and making connections, and possibly finding your mate, and all those other things that are of the utmost importance that university provides, and if you take advantage of them. However, they're trying to set up a system in which people are able to have their own kind of social media platform within the university, where you can meet up and set up events and stuff like that. But the point is that piece of paper, that bachelor's degree for $4,500 online from some of the best lecturers in the world, it's truly a tremendous value, and something that certainly Jordan Peterson didn't have to take on. So it's really noble, and just tremendous of him, and these people with their using their platforms for such good. It really is noteworthy and commendable. Speaking of education, I think it is very remarkable how many things I learn on a, let's call it a monthly basis, things I learn for the first time. And I don't understand why. If if I am as educated as I am, then I should not be getting these new information that we should be taught in kindergarten. And the fact that I've never heard of these things for this long is just ridiculous to me. Because if I don't know, then how are people supposed to know? You just seems like you're just not supposed to know. And it's things that are so simple that could help you so much. For instance, we have a huge obesity problem in the US, and it's very tough to tackle because it's a habitual behavior that is borderline addiction. And you can get addicted to your habits, but also people are addicted to food for sure. And really, really simple things like, oh, people talk about moderation, or getting exercise, even just walking after a meal to help with digestion, even just a 10-minute walk. Yes, those are all great. Changing what you're eating, of course, but realistically, people just really struggle with that and aren't willing to do it. So, how about just switching up the intake order of the food that you're going to eat? The same exact food that you're going to eat, just switch the order in which you eat it. That is pretty simple. Supposed to be fiber, protein, then fats, then carbs and starches, in that order. You have a plate with all those things on it. You should eat in that order, because that's the way your body's gastric acid processes food the best, the most quickly. I heard this a while ago, but it's still much too recent, and I know that people don't have never heard this before. Fiber, vegetables, for instance, creates a coating and a lining along the digestional tract to really create like a bubble for the food that you're going to put in to help it slide through your colon. That's helpful information. That's useful information. Now, there's a lot of research that says so fiber is particularly helpful for people who eat carbs and starches. Carbs are non-essential. Starches are non-essential. If you're going to eat those things, like Americans love those things, they love breads, they love desserts. If you're going to eat those things, then you should absolutely eat that fiber first. You should absolutely eat vegetables before you're going to eat your carbs and starches, 100%. However, you probably shouldn't be having carbs, depending on you. And that's where a lot of this gets really, there's so much counterintuitive research. I think because there's so many people in the world. There's 8 billion people. We are not all the same. Our digestional tracts are not all the same. We have evolved in different places with different food availability, and our digestional tracts have evolved to digest food differently. It makes all the sense in the world based on what is naturally growing in that environment. So we're not all the same at all. So to say that veganism is the way, or carnivore diet is the way, or paleo is the way, or keto is the way, or the Atkins diet is the way, whatever you're saying is the way, no, it's not true. It might be the way for a huge population, but it is not the way for everyone. If it's the way for 51%, then that means it is the way. However, that means 49%, it's not the way for them. So there's a lot of contradictory information, and people often get information overload and then just decide to do nothing. You know what? I'm not deciphering this information. I'm just going to stick with what I've been doing because that's the easiest thing that I can do. So this is a step across from that. The easiest thing you can do, switch up your food intake order. Could really help. I mean, I think that it's really simple because you're not even saying to change what you're eating. You're just saying to change the order in which you are eating what you're eating. So that really plays into this documentary I saw on Netflix. It is about the blue zones. If you don't know what the blue zones are, it's different places on the earth where people live to 100 plus years old, or the oldest populations on the earth, and where people are living to 100 plus years old. And it's not just like they're living and they're being wheeled around and they're brain dead. Not at all. They're contributing to society still, and they different places, Sardinia in Italy, Okinawa in Japan. Those are two that I've been exposed to so far. I've heard of this for a while now, but I haven't seen any documentary on it or anything like that. So it's really insightful. It's really simple. These people are taking care of themselves. They are intentionally living. They are getting up and down from the floor a lot. They are walking upstairs a lot. They are one part of becoming a centenarian is something that is really helpful is the elevation, the amount of incline that you have to walk in your area. Going up and down hills is really good for you. And these 100-year-olds are still doing it because they got to get around their town. They're not thinking anything of it. It's just, this is the way you go. There's no non-hill way. So you just go, you get to it. They get there, maybe they have their cane, maybe not. And they take their slow steps and they get where they're going. And they stay strong and fit because of it. They are mentally clear. There's a bunch of 100-year-olds just hanging out in the street. And it shows what's possible. It shows the simplicity of it, the nutrition. It's mostly that it's not necessarily what they're eating. It's mostly how it's prepared. Things are made with love, but also the way the ingredients. The ingredients is extremely important. We could replicate that exact same meal here in the US, and we got pesticides, preservatives all over the same exact things. It would still be good for us, but just nowhere near as good as what they got going on. So they eat in moderation. I think the biggest, huge thing is community. They have community. They have family. These places where there's the most 100-year-olds, there's no nursing homes. Their family takes care of them, as it should be. I think this is really I don't want to blame it on the US, but the US is so brand new and it's such a melting pot that family has really, it's like not a part of our culture. Like when people are family oriented, they're from somewhere else here in the US. When I think of that, I think of Italians, I think of Mexicans, and the way that they put such emphasis on family and family get-togethers and family time. And they bring that here, and I think that value only gets diluted over time because we're so focused on individualism and materialism that we completely look. Individualism is fine, materialism is fine, but the lack of community is having an impact on mental health for sure. And you see these 100-year-olds exercising together, swimming, they're playing pickleball, they're playing ping pong, they're having family dinners together or community dinners together, or their whole family takes turns at taking care of them, and they don't really need to be taken care of that much because they're cognizant and they have ability and they have roles to play. Like a huge thing that these old women over there in Sardinia are doing is cooking all day. They're cooking for their family. Well, what family couldn't use that? What family wouldn't feel all good about, hey, I'm taking care of this person who's probably taking care of you, probably took care of your parents and then took care of you, and you're giving back, you're taking care of them, and they're in the other room, unsupervised, making family dinner. Like, why do we need to push these people into a nursing home at 70 years old and forget about them? Why are we choosing to live that way? It doesn't make sense. It's sad and it's unnecessary, and it seems inhumane, and it seems rude, and it doesn't seem like it's the best option for sure. And just seeing the way that these people live is really inspiring, and it's beautiful. And this is going to be something that really needs to be addressed, because the person who's going to live to 200 is already born. They're already on this planet. Right now, people born in America, born today, let's say, in America and in China in particular, are projected to live to 120 years old on average. There are so many reverse aging technologies out there currently and being churned out by the moment that things are going to change. The way we think about aging is going to change. And for many, it has already. Let's say a 120-year-old is going to be, let's say 120 is the new 100. Let's say 200 becomes not abnormal. Let's say you got people who have, it's going to come down to finances, of course. There's plenty of things that you can do that you don't need. Meditation is free. Breathing exercises are free. There's a lot of exercise you can do that's free. Let's just say walking. Cold showers are free. Those things, that's your anti-aging routine right there. You got it. There's a lot of other things you can add to that list that are free. So this is not a rich person's game. However, of course, when you have the ability that financially free people have, and you're able to allocate your resources towards living for as comfortably and as for as long as you want to, then they're going to be ahead of the game. And they already are. There are people like I've mentioned before, Brian Johnson, who's reversed his age from 46 years old, his biological age from 46 years old to 17. He's projected right now to live to 200. That's right now. That, of course, anything can happen to you at any time. But we're talking about biology. How long does your biology have? And I mean, just a little while ago, just years ago, for a lot of people, still not getting it now. Just years ago, if you would say people are going to live to 120, that would be insane. The oldest person right now is 120 plus years old. And he looks like he's doing pretty good. He's a yogi. If you were to say that you're going to live to 120 years old, that would be outlandish. If you were talking about numbers like 200, people would just think you're crazy. And now this is going to be commonplace, especially with all the revolutions in technology that we have in general, and the amount of comfort that we have, and the access of to everything at our fingertips. People are going to be able to live for as long as they want. They may find that they don't want to live that long, and I'm not talking about aging. You're not going to have to age. People are going to forget how old they are, because how old is your biology? That's what matters. You could still look like you're 17 years old biologically, and the earth could have rotated around the sun 200 times, and you still look the same, because you believe. If you know about the power of thoughts and you believe in it strongly enough, there's nothing that can't happen. So this is just the latest miracle. And the latest miracle was, I don't want to say it is the latest miracle, because again, if you go back to ancient texts, this is what they're talking about. And it was commonplace for them to talk about such a thing, and it was it was just part of their culture. It wasn't like they were talking about mythology or something that would happen one day. It's something that they said they were already doing. So, again, whether you want to take that as history or mythology, they're still talking about it thousands of years ago. So, it's just interesting. It's something I take very seriously. It's something that it's just the most interesting thing to me, and I don't hear any regular folk talking about it. So seems strange, but I think that will change. And even if it doesn't, I'm not going to be aging. Don't have any interest in it as of now. So thank y'all for hanging out, for listening. Appreciate it. Hope you're having a great day. Stay young.